Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough of Amazing Slowdowner by Trevor DeWitt, brought to you by clogdancing.com. So to start out, first I'm here on the App Store for Apple, and I have pulled up Amazing Slowdowner. It is by Ronnie Music. We are going to review the version 5.2.0, as you can see below. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. While it downloads, I'm going to let you know that I will be reviewing this on an iPad 2, just a regular iPad 2, not the iPad 2 Air, not the iPad 3 Retina. This is a regular iPad 2 that I will be reviewing this software on. So we've downloaded the app called Amazing Slowdowner, and as you can see, it's right here on my desktop of my iPad. So I'm going to launch it by clicking on the icon that says ASD and Amazing below it. And we'll see the welcome screen, and it will take a moment to read our music library. And when you first open it, this is what you're presented. You're presented with a sample song that says 4 songs, a title that says iPod songs, playlists, and a folder called Other Songs. And if you touch the folder list, you'll see there's nothing in there. To go back a screen, you just touch the left arrow where it says iPod songs. So first I'm going to go through the screen and the settings here. When you import songs, they will be listed here, which you can create folders and playlists for as you go to keep your music organized. In the upper right hand corner is a button that says Edit. From here, if you select that, then you can delete the songs on the playlist, or you can delete the folders that you create. You can create a new folder by touching New Folder in the upper right hand corner and entering a new name, and that will create a new folder. When you're done, you can touch Done. On the bottom right, it says Settings, and we'll start that. This is the General Settings. The General Settings, I'm going to walk through them briefly for you. Most of the defaults are okay. I will show you which ones I change for clogging. Allow rotation is just what it means. If you turn right now my iPad is in landscape mode. If you turn your iPad as like a book, it will rotate to a portrait mode. I'm going to still turn it back to landscape mode. You can turn that off if you do not want it to rotate. Show album art, I'm going to leave that on. It will show the album art if there is any in your files of your songs. Show all files will show all my files. Show file extension will show what type of file it is. I'm going to leave that turned off. Show ID3 info, which is the information saved in the music file. Sort files by, and it's going to default to date added. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to sort it by title because I want to see my songs sorted by title list so I can quickly find them. I'm going to touch Done, and I'm going to go back into Settings. So now it says Sort Files by Title. When opening a file, I do not want it to start playing automatically. In case I'm at a performance, I don't want the music to start immediately until I'm ready, so I'm going to turn off Start Playing. Start where left off. Again, I'm going to turn this off by default because if I stopped a song in the middle and I load that song again, I don't want it to pick up right where it left off. I want it to start from the beginning. The next option is iCloud Sync Loop Settings. I'm going to turn this off right now. I'm not going to mention iCloud and the settings in this walkthrough. We'll get to that in a different walkthrough. Again, sync playlists are off. On application startup, I do not want it to reopen the last file, so I'm going to leave that turned off. So the next option is Sleep. And it says Allow Sleep. I want to make sure that's turned off in case you're at class or a demonstration. You don't want your iPad or your Android device to go into sleep mode. The other things under Info are Help, About, and Write a Review if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and say Done. And that will take me back to the welcome screen. So, to get started, we can start with the sample song, or we can go to iPod Import at the bottom, and this will bring up a window. If we touch that option, it will bring up a window that is going to show us all of the songs in our music on this currently on this iPad. So we're going to go ahead and select one song, Across the Rocky Mountains. And for this particular one, this is a great example. This one has a DRM protection file and it can't play this, so it will let you know what it can and cannot play. Most of the songs that you have on your iPad will be importable. That would just happen to be one from an older one that would not import. So let's try a different one. And I selected one it could import. It will take a moment to import the file. And when it does, it will now show up in the song list. If I wanted that song to show up in a folder, I would first go into that folder. So I'm going to click on the New Name folder. And from here, I'm going to import that song. We're going to import absolutely everybody. Now it's in that folder. So if I want it to be in that folder, if you go back to the home screen, you'll notice it's not on the main screen. It's in the folder called New Name. If I want to put it in the folder, I have to first be inside the folder before I import the song. If I'm at the home screen and import it, they'll just list on the home screen. If I hit edit, I have the option to remove that file. But as you see, I don't have an option to drag it into the folder. So I'm going to touch done. So that's a quick overview of how to import songs into Amazing Slowdowner. Now, what is different about Amazing Slowdowner is that you do have to import each song from your music library into this app just the first time. Once it's in there and I close out, if I close out the app, making sure it's not running in the background, and I go back home, you'll see if I load this again, my songs are still there. So it remembers what you imported and the folders and everything that you've added, but you do have to load each song as you go, which is not time consuming because you can just add them as you play them, and then you only have the most current songs in there. So let's go into the play window. I'm going to select the song, and it's going to load, and because we chose those general options at the beginning, it's not going to play, it starts at the beginning. So to go around this screen, in the upper left hand corner, the iPod songs with the arrow pointing to the left will take you back to the home screen. The song title that is in the file is located across the top. On the top right hand corner is a place that says Notes. If you select that, it opens up a window where you can add any note that you might have about this song and touch Done. It's great for sequences, performance notes, speed, whatever you want to put in there. And if we touch Notes again, you'll see that they're there. At the top, you'll see 3 lines: mix, pitch, and speed. We are not going to adjust the mix line or the pitch line. Those are more for musicians. We're concerned about, mostly in clogging, is the speed. So we can speed up or slow down. When it imports, the default is 100%. If you look on to the right of the speed line, you'll see 100% off to the side. We can adjust the speed plus or minus based on that per 100%. Greater than 100% is faster. Less than 100% is slower. The next line will have the start, and you'll see the little loop symbol and the end. Those we're not going to touch on in this tutorial. Those are the start and end points for a loop, which is more complicated than this tutorial will get into. You can see a different tutorial later. Below that, you'll see 0:00 and a line, and at the other side, -6:07. That is the timeline for the song. So you can jump and speed through that line to get to different points in the song. At the very bottom, you'll see the icon for speakers, left and right. The icon to the right of the speaker that has like a little monitor with the triangle probably will not show up in your version. This is because I am displaying this on a computer. That's your volume adjustment. That's the window overview. So if we touch the big arrow in the middle at the bottom that has the arrow pointing to the right, it will play the song, and you'll see the numbers on the left-hand side begin to advance. And we can touch that little slider circle and drag it to another point, and it won't tell us this. It won't give us a preview until we let go, and then it jumps to that point immediately. If we touch the pause button, it will immediately pause the song. If you touch the left 2 arrows, it will start to jump back by a variable that you can set in the settings here in a moment. If you want to go back to the beginning, touch the arrow to the left, 2 arrows pointing to the left with a line, and that will take you back to the beginning. And then you can jump forward as well. Okay. There are a few things I want to show you about the slider windows. If we are playing a song, we can speed it up, and it'll tell us the percent at the top, and we can slow it down if we want to. Now, if we want to go back to normal speed, 100%, we can drag it to that point and try to hit that number just right. But if we're not that great, we can just touch twice, and that will jump you right back to 100%. Now, you'll notice when you touch the slider button, it'll say slide your finger up or down to adjust precision. And right now, when you just touch it, it says regular precision. What that means is that while I'm touching the screen, I'm going to drag, without letting my finger go, drag my finger down or up on the screen, and now it goes to good precision, better precision, best, and super precision. And super duper precision if you go even further. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to move your finger left or right. And the super duper precision is almost too difficult, is almost non-responsive. So I'm going to touch that. I'm going to go down to better precision, and that gives me an opportunity to move slower through the speed line. If I move up to regular precision, I can quickly move that back and forth. If I go down to super precision, it doesn't go as far as fast left and right. Okay? And to let go, if I wanted to quickly jump to a point and I kind of happen to know where I need to touch on the line, I can just touch to go to that speed and touch to go to that speed. So I can quickly jump back and forth, or I can double touch to go to the middle. I know it's not easy to see the drags on the screen, but I will try to tell you when I'm touching and when I'm dragging on the screen. Same thing with the time window, the timeline down there where it says 31 seconds right now. I can drag that backwards, or I can just touch. If I know that's where 148 is, I can always touch to go there. If I touch later in the line, I can touch there. I can quickly jump back and forth to my spots on the song. So if you kind of watch and know where your time is and know where you need to tap on the line, you can quickly go there. If you double touch on this line, it doesn't do anything because there's not a middle point to go to. So that's an overview of the speed, the timeline, and the play and pause buttons. I do want to mention that speed line has master tempo, as long as you don't change the pitch or the mix. So if you change the speed, it will not sound distorted as you play your song. Inside the play window, we have settings as well. These are not the general settings. These are specific for playing the songs. And what you'll see, these are the player settings. Audio processing, enabled. You always want to enable the ability to play the songs. Stereo, you want to leave on. Quality, you're going to have some options under quality. Very high 2, very high, high, medium, low, and speech only. This is more for different places, different musicians and type of music that you're playing. For clogging, I'm going to leave it on very high 2. Again, I am using an iPad 2, and it is capable of playing at a very high 2 processing level. I'm going to go back to player settings. Stereo, you want to leave on so that it outputs both left and right speakers. Equalizer, if you want to, you could turn it on and adjust the individual treble and bass levels, but for clogging, most of the time you're going to do that through the mixer, so I leave that disabled. Loop settings, again, I'm not going to touch on these in this tutorial, but there's your options to change your loop settings. Here's another one, delay playback. I don't want it to delay, so I'm going to leave it set to never. The forward and rewind buttons, when you touch them, the first touch, it automatically defaults to 1 second forward or backward. You can adjust that and to how quickly that skips if you want to skip back 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, or 30 seconds. You have those options. And again, what those do, if you scoop at 30 seconds and go back to your player settings and then say done, what that does, if you look on my timeline, it's at 142. If I touch the 2 arrows to the right one time, it's going to jump 30 seconds and again another 30 seconds or back at 30 seconds. So I leave those at 1 because I don't use those. Very rarely do you need to jump back that little bit. But if that works for you, great. Just know that those options are there. I'm going to leave it at 1 second. Mix with other audio. We're not a DJ mixing thing right now, so I'm not going to touch on that one. I skipped over one. Rewind on stop. I set that to never because when I stop it or pause it, I do not want it to automatically go back. Sometimes I just want to stop it where it's at and adjust from that slider point and go forward. If you want to always rewind it, you can set that to that. Enable export button. It's turned on, so again, you can export your settings or your songs to a different file at the speed that you choose. Slider behavior. Tap anywhere. That's the behavior I was demonstrating. You can tap anywhere on the timeline, on the slider, and it will jump to that point. If you turn that off, you will have to drag your slider, the spot on your slider, to the point that you want to. I don't worry about nudge value. You can limit the speed range if you want to turn that on. That will limit how fast or how much you can speed up or slow down a song. And the same with the pitch, you can change that if you adjust that. So how I set those up is, so this is how I set them up for most of my clogging performances. And I'm going to touch done to go back to the player window. So I'm going to touch iPod songs to go back to the playlist. Alright, from here you can touch, let's go over playlists. You can add songs to the playlists and create a new playlist if you want to. And touch done. And it works the same way. I have to be inside the playlist to add songs. So if I touch add songs at the bottom, it's going to pull up my song list. But instead of importing them one at a time, I can touch the plus arrow to the right to select my song. So I can touch 1, I can touch 2, I can touch 3, and when I'm done, I touch done in the upper right hand corner. And now I have 3 songs on my playlist. So if I go back to playlists, it's going to show me my new playlist, and from there I have my 3 songs. So you can build your performance. If you go to a performance, you can build playlists based on the songs that you need for that particular performance. That is my walkthrough, my introductory walkthrough of Amazing Slow Downer geared toward cloggers. If you have any questions, please reach out to me in the comments below. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it informative, and if so, check out my video for DJ2 for the iPad. I look forward to seeing you on the dance floor. Thank you.